Welcome back to Inklings Behind the Scenes. This is J.S. Bray with Mr. Bray Labs. And today we're going to keep just a short kind of check-in video. We're going to let you know what's kind of the goal behind the scenes. So this week, a lot more investor meetings, a lot more pitches, a lot more kind of getting things out there, a lot of kind of behind the scenes. And some of the stuff, we've mentioned in the past I don't always show because I don't find it that interesting to share. And perhaps I should show you this stuff, but for example, writing emails to potential investors from databases or connecting with people on LinkedIn. These are not necessarily things that, they are practical things to do, but they're not necessarily, I always feel like they're podcast worthy or blog worthy content. And I could be wrong. Let me know if I should show you that minutia. But I have showed you the minutia of the creative process. So updates with what's going on with Inklings. We have not officially got all of our callbacks at, and we're going to be, of course, interviewing everybody. We're going to be making some very big decisions for season 0. And season 0 is those episodes that Cody has been really lovely kind of showing you how we're putting them together. Some of it's like riveting, some of it's it's just part of the process. It's piece by piece. And my goal is hopefully this week to have an episode where you see Cody and I talking back and forth while he's writing, while we're putting that stuff together. So it kind of gives you like a real time look at this stuff. We also have a bunch of super micro shorts that we're developing with our I'd say a consulting producer, Elias Bouthers. So if you're paying attention, buddy, I've just gave you a shout out in this episode. He's been helping me come up with a lot of more strategy when it comes to developing a series, because it's not so much just having a good idea. It's all about bringing it to life. And the way you bring it to life is not always, it's not really, no one really has, maybe I say this wrong. Not a lot of people have a golden brick road in their head. For people who have created success, they try to go in deep grooves of kind of continuing the same path for success. But we live in a world that changes a lot. And because it changes a lot, you cannot predict people's tastes. You can be somewhat correct that people like certain things, but you cannot predict successes. Shows like Bluey or Peppa Pig, these shows are big. And I've often heard people say the reason why they're big is because they have this sort of multicultural kind of British flavor to it. But I think that's probably inaccurate, because there are some really great shows out there that, like Dora the Explorer and other things like that didn't always have the same sort of it wasn't always a British actor. Other things that happen with kids media is that there's trends that happen. I'm not trying to predict a trend. I'm actually trying to start a trend. And that is a harder thing to accomplish. Trying to start a trend where you have a show that's really about bugs that want to read books. And it's pretty simple in that sense, but I think that's sort of, what makes a good project you can get behind, something you care about the simplicity of it and care about the passion and message of the show. So today, really what I'm going to be focusing on behind the scenes is really crafting a pitch deck for some investors. There's been some really wonderful talks in the works with some folks, and I'm hoping to have a really big announcement soon. I cannot tell you exactly, because when it comes to investors, I need consent to tell where they're at. And also, just because somebody has an interest in your project, that's great. But until the ink dries on the contract, you really should just be careful before you kind of get ahead of yourself. I've done that in the past. I've had investors that were excited, and I went and hired folks, and then they changed their mind, which they can do. And then you're like, oh, darn, I'm sorry, the show is taking longer to get done. So, sometimes it really boils down to that. And I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to try to make people feel bad or anything like that, but I'm just letting you know, when you work on a project and you rely on certain level of funding, there is relationships to people that you have to have, like sponsors or investors, or how things work before you can actually bring everybody on. If you worked at a grocery store, the manager couldn't say, well, once we get enough, people who come in here, then I'll pay you. No, they're going to pay the salespeople. They're going to pay the people, the clerk. They're going to pay the restocking person. They're going to pay these people with titles already. They're not going to just wait till they get customers. But the animation business and even software business, and I really do run my company more like a software company than I do an animation company. And I can probably go into more links about why that matters. I run it more like a software company because we're so remote. We're so remote friendly, and because we're so collaborative, and because our titles are also incredibly fluid. And I feel that software is sort of the place where it's most innovative when it comes to like people trying new things. Not always. And when it comes with media and animation, this is a slight tangent about my philosophy about leadership. But a lot of people in media and entertainment kind of get like a hat that they wear, and then they just wear the one hat for their entire lives. And maybe they're happy with that hat, but I'm not. I like a lot of variety, and I like to see a lot of people succeed, and I like people doing things that I don't like to do, and I like seeing people doing stuff that I do better, and so I kind of feel like I run my company more like a software company than say a traditional media company. Anyways, so I'm hoping to have some really exciting news for you folks soon. I'm also hoping to kind of break down some of the more process. I'm working on a revised pitch deck, and I should be putting that together along with the Bible. And you'll be seeing all these micro shorts coming together soon, come fall. So from September through January, that is the goal. Is that you will be seeing all the micro shorts and season 0. Okay, and so that is the big announcement, but that's not really the one that we're going to be focusing on this episode. You will be seeing, okay, between September and January. That is this big production, kind of a wishy-washy for some folks, but that's where we're going to be producing season 0 and all these micro shorts that we hope become viral hits that actually can really connect people on a deep, deep level and help people see the personalities and interactions with the characters. And that's what we're going to be doing. So I just really wanted to check in with you folks, let you know that I'm thinking about you. Things are going well, other than a slight migraine today because of the weather and such. And my family's doing well. I hope you are all doing well. I really do. Actually, I'll say this. I pray you are doing well. And I mean all from the absolute bottom of my heart. I pray you're doing well. I thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this community. And I hope that you have a blessed day.